Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have another candidate for public office, but like before, I want to make sure that I start by saying that any of the candidates that are on the podcast, I'm not endorsing. I might endorse personally, but that's on my free time. But here in the podcast, I'm going to try and not endorse anybody just to be more unbiased, transparent and give everybody a fair chance. Also, if you want to be part of the podcast and come on and talk about your campaign, what you're, want to run, what you're running for and why, make sure you reach out to me via email at pasacalexico@gmail.com or send me a message via Instagram or Facebook, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Today we have a returning guest. The last time we spoke, it was during the pandemic, and you were running for I believe city council, and then I believe that term. I'm not sure if we got reelected because you were already on the council.
I was on the council, and then
it was a short term.
And then we did the school board, and then this candidacy opened up.
So my guest today, Mr. Lewis Pacheco. A lot of Calexicans might know him because he was a long term principal at Jefferson Elementary. I think a lot of the people, I think my wife was a student there when you were a principal there.
I was there for 23 years, so I had a lot of family and kids that grow up now and later on say, "Hey, Mr. Pacheco."
Yeah.
So that's the connection there. So yeah.
So you not too long ago was that you retired from the Calexico Unified School District, right?
In 2008.
2000,
yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah. I thought it was, for some reason, a little bit shorter. But yeah, so now that you've been, retired for quite a while, I guess, you've decided to run. Because were you a city council member before, or?
Yes, I was. At the time, I was a city council member during my tenure as at the CUHS. I was on the city council and also on the working at the district.
You were
the district. Yeah.
What year were you a city council member?
Yeah. I was the last time it was 2014 to 18, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. I've been mayor twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what has life been, during retirement, and now that you have, a little bit more time? What are some of the things that kind of make you, even though that you've served the community as a principal and as city council member before, what makes you want to keep doing that after so many years?
It's serving the public and doing. You're a public servant and you just want to help the community in any way you can. Currently, I also teach religion to freshmen and sophomores at the Confirmation 1 at the Our Lady of Guadalupe. I'm there at the school, Olga, teaching on freshmen and sophomores for confirmation. So okay. I do religion. So I keep busy. Just try to offer my services to whatever I can do. Just working with the community and the kids.
Mm-hmm. And we know that you've been you were a principal for so many years, but you've been a Calexican all of your life. Am I correct?
That's true. I wasn't born here, but I was raised here. Went through all my schooling here. I went to Rockwood and then De Anza and then the high school. And then I had an opportunity to go to San Diego State, San Diego, but we came back and finished up here locally in Imperial Valley, San Diego State College. Imperial Valley.
Was your you said that you weren't born here? Were you born?
Oh, Los Angeles. I was born in Los Angeles. We came down. My parents were driving down through, going to go through Phoenix, but they hit Calexico, and the people were just so. Why don't you stay here? You guys, And then my father was working for the Southern Pacific Railroad, so they. We got work for you here. Why don't you stay here? So my dad did stay, and the family stayed.
It was just
by chance, and we've been here ever since.
And other than your your dad didn't have any other family here, or do you have any?
No, all my family's either in LA or San Diego, Tijuana, basically, but mostly Los Angeles area.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And that's crazy that there was no plans to ever
exactly come here or stay here.
Yeah.
So roots are here though.
And yeah, and it's crazy that your dad didn't have any plans here, but yet you had a chance to go out of the valley, and yet
we came back. Yeah, we came back and like the community and serve the community. That was the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to share what you have with the students. And
because
I became a teacher.
Yeah, and you're not the only Pacheco that's been kind of in public office. You had a brother that was
also, yes, my older brother Sal. He was also a school board member for about 12 years. So he participated in serving the community also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were a city council member for
two terms,
and then
8 years.
And how looking back at that time when you were a council member, how do you see Calexico now?
Yeah. Well, when I was there, the president then at that time was President Trump, and he had issues with our border. And at that time, I was the mayor, and boy, the issues were he wanted to come down and see, and there was a probability they wanted to lock down and shut the border because of the immigration issue and all these migrants coming over. But the thing is, he doesn't realize that he was going to close down a lot of the economy, all these trucks with fruits and everything that was going to go across to feed our nation, and he was going to lock it up and says no. So that to me was the high point of me being the mayor. Dealing with all the interviews with all the radio stations and newspapers and doing one-on-one with KNBC or whatever, and they were trying to get, because it was a big deal for Trump to get down here, and so they were, First Street was really, the people were really just filling up. They wanted to see him, see if we would actually see him. And
so you were the mayor when he came down? Acting
mayor when he was coming down.
Okay.
So that was a little exciting for Calexico.
Yeah. Was he wasn't the first president to come down, right?
No, I think maybe Reagan came down, and the other governors more so because of the earthquake that happened. But they hardly don't come down to the valley that much.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're not that.
Our population is not really up to the greater LA areas and Orange County and the larger districts down there.
Yeah. So you've been part of our community for a long time. Right now you're currently a school board member for the Calexico Unified School District. What are some of the things that you've been a part of as a school board member that you kind of?
Well, we currently came in. I came on board when all this growth was happening with the school and remodeling and making sure that we keep up with the 21st century and make sure we have good classrooms and that was the main thing that was already started. So we're still continuing with that plan, and we're still looking at the buildings going up and making sure that we're on target and we can finish up and hopefully get the high school going. But that's the major project right now, is getting that, and of course getting our academic scores up. The growth of students is a priority for us. Make sure that we get the kids on making gains in their language arts and their reading and the math, and make sure that we get to have these kids go on to either a pathways for CTE and or college. So we want to make sure these kids are ready for either avenue for them to make themselves a productive citizen. Yeah, either way. So there's a lot of high paying jobs that you don't have to go to college. You just get electricians and plumbers, and you've got your mechanics, your welders, your all these jobs that are highly skilled. So these guys that have that skill to do that's not a bad way to make a living.
Yeah, and for a while, I graduated in 2000, and and I've been involved in the district for the past 20 some years. I've been working for the district, and I think that recently that's been something that our district has kind of focused on, where and I don't know if it's only our district, but we're making sure that we have these other options that are not
A through G college. Yeah, we're trying to expand that pathway for those types of students that aren't going to seek a college career, but surely they want to get their hands on and get a skill, a job that's going to make them good earners for their future, and just maintain a living with that, and they surely can.
Yeah. How different is it, being part of a school board and part of a city council? I think that a school board has a bigger budget. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, big time. The budgets are smaller, but the city issues are more like police and fire, and making sure that your streets are repaved, and make sure that there's your water and your sewer are updated, and make sure that the water coming out of the sewer is drinkable. And we used to they sent out water surveys every time to make sure that the water has the right alkali and all the ingredients to make not ingredients, but all the just to make sure that the water is drinkable, so there's no biology issues there with microbes and stuff like that. But those are the main concerns: having fresh water to drink, and making sure your streets and your public is being served by having police force and a fire department, and make sure that we can maintain the city. And I think that's the main issue: making sure that we provide those services for our citizens. They come first. Yeah. You being part of these two the city council and school board. How do you see those them having a relationship important for the community? Well, the good thing is that, like this park that's here, we don't have large green areas. The parks we don't have are limited, so the school is sharing a lot of our gymnasiums, facilities, and the playgrounds for Pop Warner, Little League, soccer, whatever we can to help us assist the community with utilizing our schools for that process, to make sure that the kids have a place to go and develop in sports. That's one area, and of course the swimming pool is another avenue we can do in the summer. We allow the city to use it and provide swimming lessons and recreation for the kids and parents during the summer hot hours. So we kind of work together in those. Any time we can partner with the city, we try to do that. Yeah.
But in terms of when it comes to making sure that our community is served, especially like in safety and all these things, how important is it for the district to have a good communication with the city? Well,
we currently have an SRO is a school resource officer that utilizes her time on our school grounds to make sure that the welfare of the kids are taken care of. We don't want to see anybody causing troubles, and there is incidents in junior highs and high schools that you need to have that type of individual working for the city and the schools. So we currently have an SRO working for the school district, and she comes and goes, but she splits most of her time here with us at the high school and the junior highs.
Yeah, especially with when I grew up in the 90s, gangs were
prevalent.
And I think like now, the last couple of years, I think I've seen a little bit more. It's been more of a thing now, because for a while it died down a little bit, but now I think you see,
acting up again. You think it's on the rise a little?
I think so. Yeah.
It could be. I've spotted some graffiti on some areas that weren't tagged, and I said, "Oh wow, it's coming back." But that's just the kids acting up and wanting to show that this is my area, this is mi barrio, this is where we rule or whatever. But I do see a little bit of that coming back. So hopefully we can. Once that graffiti goes up, I hope the city has an action plan to really start erasing it, and eradicating, and painting over it, so we don't allow these kids to take over and this is my area and this is my area, and we just start getting the gang.
Because you were part of the district when that was something that was
prevalent. Yeah. But hopefully, at one time, those people that were gang members are kind of it kind of died out, but I don't know how it's resurfacing again. And it's the drugs are now really different and changed too back then. So now I know this fentanyl is something else, but we need just to keep our watch out, make sure the kids don't get involved in that type of scenarios with the drugs.
Yeah. So now you're running for IID director for Division 4. Division 4,
representing Calexico. Yeah.
What are some of the areas that cover? Because Calexico is not the only part that you would represent.
Well, no, it's primarily mostly Calexico. Now, it used to be a little part of Heber, but mostly now it's like I would say like 95% mostly Calexico. So we will be serving the residents of Calexico as IID.
What made you decide that it was the right time to run?
For that, I just to tell you the truth, it's I think all those candidates that are coming in think that they can do a better job, or the leadership is not there. But I think for us, the challenge is to serve our community and to serve the valley, and that's what I'm running for.
Hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to take this time to thank my sponsors. I want to thank my longtime sponsors, my friend Camilo Garcia, Eddie Lopez from Roots Creative, and my friend Jake. Thank you guys for being longtime sponsors of the podcast. I also want to thank my friends who sponsored the podcast in 2022. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your sponsorship. And if you want to become a sponsor, you can go to anchor.fm/Que Pasa Calexico. Hit the support button and you can sponsor the podcast from 99 cents a month to $10 a month. It really helps me a lot to make this podcast better, sound better, look better, and reach out more people by promoting the podcast in social media and other websites. So if you want to become a sponsor, make sure to go to my Anchor page, and I'll leave a link in the description of the show. So thank you so much. And now back to the show. Do you think that, being, in public office all these years has kind of prepared you to?
I think all my background, I think with all my public service, I think all that comes into it builds up my background, and I think I can handle board meetings and community meetings and make sure that we work together as a group. And I think I can become a good person, a listener, and at the same time get involved with the other board members and making sure that we can come together in a consensus as a group and make the best decisions for if it's either the city or the schools or the whatever issue is. Yeah,
because the IID, it's a huge part of the county. That it affects some of the decisions they make affect a lot of people.
The issue there is what's good for Calexico is going to be good for the valley, and what's good for the valley is surely going to be helpful and good for Calexico.
So how many positions are for?
There's a Division 2 and a Division 4 up for elections.
How do you see yourself? Because obviously there's going to be 3 people who would be staying. How do you see yourself fitting in? With these other board members?
It looks as if those board members just got recently elected, so they've been there 2 years, but some of them are serving 2 terms, and I think it's an experienced board, and some just got elected, but I've seen them on in action at a board meeting, and they look as if they get to work fairly well, and they get their agenda across, and they're working, and they're trying to do as much as they can for the valley.
What are some of the big issues you see coming down the pipeline when it comes to the IID?
The biggest issue for us is to maintain our infrastructure. We've got all these power plants, and we need to make sure that we have our generators going. We got to redesign them and remodel them so that they can continue working, because in the summer, that's when they're needed the most, and we don't want these generators to not produce any energy if we don't have our infrastructure. And so I think for me, it's just that for the energy side, and also the water side. The water side has issues too with pipes and canals and lining. We still got to maintain those 2 systems for make sure that we have a workable energy and water sources for the for the Calexico and for the valley.
Yeah, because a lot of people see the IID as their energy provider, but in reality, the IID needs to make sure that we have the water to...
Exactly. The water, the issue with the water, though, the valley is perfected rights. We get the water way back when, since 1911, the Supreme Court and the Congress said Imperial Valley needs to get the water. So we get roughly 3.1 acre feet first. We just get the water, and that's our right to have the water. So 70% of that water comes to the Imperial Valley, and our as tax ratepayers we get water, and our ranchers get the water too. So that's the good thing there. What we have right now is our Lake Mead is rescinding. The water level is going lower and lower. We were at like 51% at one time, so we got to watch out that. So we got to conserve our water, make sure that there's conservation efforts to conserve our water. And we recently, as an IID, said to the president, we're going to withhold not taking 100,000 acres of water. We're going to store it, have it stay at Lake Mead, and what's that going to do? It's going to bring up the level up 17 feet at Lake Mead. And of course, by doing that, conserving, the government is giving us some money for that. So yeah, that's the trade. We're going to conserve, but we'll also get money for that.
Yeah, but the importance of conserving and making sure that Lake Mead is,
maintaining a high level,
because that's how from what I understand is that the pressure, that's how it helps the water come down to the valley, right?
We're so lucky that everything is on gravity. Gravity flows. We don't need any type of automated or machinery or power to get the water to us. It's on gravity, so it's going to come to us. So we want to make sure that when it gets here, we're not overspilling, we're not misusing the water when we farm. So there's a lot of modern stuff going on right now. Our zanjeros that used to have a shovel and do all that, they're working with laptops. They're working with computers to make sure that the water is being maintained at a certain level, and it's all the technology now. So that's conservation.
Yeah.
Conservation.
You mentioned infrastructure, and as a city council member, you know that how important infrastructure is to to everybody in the community, and for when it comes to the IID, infrastructure is really important to make sure that we get all this. We have the energy for, especially during the summer, to keep our homes cool and the lights on. How does the IID make sure that they focus on infrastructure without one of the biggest issues that people are gonna bug you about is keeping rates down? How do you make sure that there's a balance there?
Yeah. The main concern for us is to have our people take in and but there's programs out there that one is called a REAP. If you are 62 or 60 years old and it's based on your income, you can get 30% to 20% off your electrical bill. So we need to encourage people to get on board with that, and they're going to save money there because it's 30% off your bill. It's all based on your gross income, though. So those people that have less are going to make this a good avenue for them to make not pay so much money on their rates, so they're getting a discount for that. Okay, but on the other hand, we also need to sometimes our electricity gets low and we have to buy energy from other people too. So we buy that, bring it on board. We need to make our transmissions lines so we can export and import more energy. So we need to grow in that area. We need to expand our energy. We need to make those transmission lines workable and adding on to what we have. So we want to, if people need energy, we're going to export it. If we need energy, we're going to import it. But we're going to have that grid that's going to allow that, and that's going to make a better valley that we're going to produce and keep the energy here. What we have here in the valley, we have land, we have water, and we have energy. We have all that criteria that's going to help bring in, we're going to foster in new and better companies to come in and stay here and develop and grow. And we got lithium, and we got other, if we can just bring in people to come on in, we've got it for you. We've got the energy. We got your water. Come here. We got land. Come to the valley. We can make this valley grow.
Yeah.
And we have renewable energy that's not going to hurt us. It's not in the ozone. It's not in the climate. It's good renewable energy. That's what the government is asking for. So we've got timelines to meet too, to make sure that we're developing more green energy.
You mentioned lithium. With that coming up, and them needing their obviously they're going to need an infrastructure to extract all this lithium. They're going to need energy as well. How do we do you think that the IID has the
I think we have the capability of helping those people out and ensuring them that we have enough energy to help them out, to make sure that they do that. Of course, the lithium is, once they extract it and they cook what they want, it's going to come back to us. It comes back into the earth, so not losing it, and we're not throwing anything up in the air. Everything is going to be here, and it's going to come back and regenerate itself. So that's one good thing about that.
The IID has a huge budget, and you kind of need to, when it comes to the IID budget, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about taxpayer energy payer rates. But the other thing that the IID needs to focus on is, its employees. There's unions. You've been involved with dealing with unions now that you're in the school board. how does it prepare you to kind of be a kind of, I guess, understanding and fair when it comes to making sure that your employees are
Yeah, there has to be if the money's there for unions and negotiating, all that is bargaining, and we have to bargain with those unit members, and those issues will come up. But if for us, I think negotiating is what we can do. We have over close to 1,500 employees. I mean, there's a lot on the energy side and the water side. Then you've got your administration, and you've got all your engineers, and everybody comes on board. It's a big outfit. It's a large, huge machinery out there that's working for the valley.
Yeah, and I think that's something that the community doesn't see, because they're like behind, in the background, they're making all these things work, and they don't understand that's something that is coming out of the budget, where if rates go up, it might be because infrastructure or employees, or all these variables that are part of the IID that the IID needs to deal with, and but obviously voters, constituents are always gonna want their rates
lower, and that's true, and we can do that as long as we find what the cost is of water and energy, and what's it going to cost to serve it, and we can find out what's how much we can charge, and if it's less, we'll do that. I mean, that's what we have to do. You have to make sure that your ratepayer is paying a fair rate, and we don't want to gouge our taxpayers, our ratepayers, but we do have a program, and every time you get a bill, there's a little thing called ECA there that's tagged on, and that's just something there to assist us when things get tough and we don't have energy. So that money's there for emergencies. So we do have that. Check out your bill. There's a little thing there that we're paying for kilowatt hours, but there is a way of trying to maintain the summer. The winter, basically, we only use like 300 megawatts, but it's the summer, it's like 1,400.
Yeah.
So there's the crunch right there. So we got to make sure that we have enough energy on supply, and the water is going to be there always, but it's the energy that's the one that's really important.
Yeah, and some people during the summer, the bills went up a little bit, and it was because of that. We had to purchase energy from somewhere else and bring it here. But some people were a little bit upset the fact that we did have the energy, but we sold it, and then we bought it back a little bit more expensive than what
Well, we're in a consortium. We're like we try to get involved with other communities, other agencies that sell and buy. So it's cheaper for us to get the energy through this consortium. So it's going to be at a different rate than just buying at a high rate. So they're looking at what the market is and volatile, and then they this consortium will say, well, it's at this price now. Well, okay, let's stock up right now for the summer, or we might be, or we have enough, So they do that.
Yeah, because it feels like every summer, like it's getting a little bit hotter, and we're using, or it gets a little bit longer. Like the summer is starting a little bit earlier than it used to, and we're using more and more energy in our summers, and yeah, we people feel that they need to stock up and make sure that we're not paying because we weren't ready for.
On the other side, we're not talking too much about water, but that's a big industry. It's a $2.1 it's an industry for us, and it's providing work. So the water is going to the farmers, but it's an economy, and it's helping the valley grow. So we're providing for workers, and the water is there to produce the vegetable or whatever it is. We've got melons, we've got tomatoes, we've got carrots. It's the water is being used for that, but it's an industry that is driving this valley too.
Yeah, and it's also been affected by the droughts and
that's also true.
But kudos to them, because they've been able to kind of grow a little bit more efficiently when it comes to the vegetables they're cropping and using less water to
these sprinkler systems. That is a major water saver. And all the farmers are utilizing all that piping, and they're buying piping, and you got to get pipes. They go buy it, and that industry is promoting itself. So they're buying their own and making sure that they can afford to get the water out to their crops in a manageable and a conservative way to conserve water. That was one of them, the sprinkler system.
You're running against other people. One of them is the current IID board member, and you're running against Mr. Kim. Are you guys planning on having any debates?
Yeah, there is one planned. There's a debate planned for the 15th of February. It'll be here at the Women's Improvement Club.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll be on the 15th, coming up shortly.
Yeah. How are you getting your voice out to the community to make sure that that you're the...
Yeah, I'm walking, I'm knocking on doors, one thing, and then I just put out a nice little video stating what we want to do in infrastructure and making sure that we get our water. That's the main thing. But the cities get the water, and the farmers get the water, and our energy. We just got to make sure that we have infrastructure that's updated and remodeled and refurbished, just to make sure that we get everything working. We don't want any blackouts. That's the thing. You get a blackout, and that's your refrigerator goes out, this goes out. You're throwing out your garden, your veggies, and what happened? Well, we don't have any light. It's been gone for 3 hours. Oh, the ice cream's melted. So that's what we need to be working for, making sure that the summers are going to be easy on us, and that we have enough energy to survive the summers.
Yeah, and I think overall, like the summer that I did, it was pretty good when it came to not having blackouts.
Yeah.
I think the community also pitched in when they always tell us not to use.
Don't wash your clothes. Don't wash your washer. Your certain hours to save on the energy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure.
So anything that I haven't asked you that you would wanna?
No, I just want to make sure that I'm going to be promoting the valley, because we do have everything that anybody would want. We've got the land. You want to come in, we have land. You want water, we got the water for you. Energy, we've got your energy. We've everything that you need to bring your company or bring your industry in, we have it. So with that, we need to expand on that, make this valley grow, and it's going to provide housing, more schools. It's going to provide jobs for everybody, and the economy is going to do well if we do that.
Especially you mentioned lithium. That's a big industry that
it's going to start, and apparently we've got two companies coming in to work in the valley. So hopefully we can get started, but we'll need a lot of federal help and state help too. I'm sure.
And mentioning on lithium, our schools are getting ready to make sure that we have people ready to work and
address those. Yeah.
So kudos to that too. I like to end these types of conversations with your elevator pitch. If you were stuck with somebody or going up an elevator with somebody, what would be your elevator pitch for them to kind of get
get to their check mark and their vote for me.
Yeah.
I think it would be just with my experience on these public service boards that I've been working with, the city and the schools, and just my experience with that and working with everybody. I think they'll understand that I'm going to work for them. I'm also on the county board for the planning commission for the planning, so I get to work on that commission too. So I'm involved with the planning for the Calexico on that side for the commissioners too. So I'm a member of that organization also. But they need to know that I'll be working for them, and nothing's off the table. Open door policy. They have my phone number, and I'm accessible. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. I live in this valley, so I want to make sure that this valley grows and prospers. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, you've been here so long, and you have family. Your daughter's here, and obviously, you're here to stay. I was going to ask you, what's the best way people can get information on how your campaign's going, and stuff like that?
Well, right now I don't have. My daughter wants me to get get something, either a web page or
social media,
something. So we're going to work on that. But she's pushing that. But it's just. I think just being local and being part of this community, people know me, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to. I'm still communicating and walking and talking. Any chance I get, I'll talk to somebody. So I'm still knocking on doors and letting them know that it's just not my poster. I'm the individual. I'm the guy on that card. That photo, that's me. And so just letting them know that. I'm there and I'll be there for the community, and I do want to maintain low rates for both energy and water. That's the main thing. We don't want to gouge our ratepayers in Calexico.
Yeah. All right. Well, if in the future your daughter gets that social media going, make sure to share that with people that listen to the podcast. That way they can follow your campaign. But yeah, I want to thank you for coming on and spending this time. I know it's a little bit. We're doing it out here.
Yes, your location is a little chilly, but we're warming up to the sun is still up. So,
I mean, we often complain how hot it is, but now we're complaining that.
Yeah, now it's nice weather, so it's good to be out here. It's not that cold. But,
the wind's a little bit chilly.
Yeah.
But thank you for enduring this cold, this windy.
No, well, thanks for having me. I know you're trying to get the message out.
Yeah,
that's your thing.
I remember when I interviewed you during the pandemic. You were kind of still not sure what this was or what.
What is this for? What are you doing then? All right, I have a podcast. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm glad you kind of know what it is.
It was not too many people are doing it, but some people, and it's good to know that there's somebody that's trying to and get the message out and the information out to the people.
Yeah. I try. And hopefully, I do. There's something positive coming out of this. I've been doing it for so long now that, and this last year has been a little bit crazy. I haven't been doing it as consistent as before, but hopefully, me spending this time with the candidates helps out the community.
And they're sharing and letting their voice being heard. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for the time, and good luck with your campaign.
Right. Well, thanks.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening or watching, and sorry about the wind, but we're trying our best. All right, guys. Peace
Peace out.